What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy BigCeaz. And what a week it's been. The NHL is on full force with the Winter Olympics. It's been so much fun to be live streaming with you all. But this isn't just about hockey. I'm turning the page, trying to get more sports content out. And we all know I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan, and I love my Dallas Cowboys. And I feel like the team is starting to turn a new leaf. Finally, after many, many years of disappointment, Jerry Jones decides to step aside from the hiring the defensive coordinator process. Shouts out to Brian Schottenheimer for doing his due diligence and going out there and finding Parker from the Philadelphia Eagles, our arch nemesis and Super Bowl champions 2 years ago, well, a year ago now. Uh, Christian Parker was under the radar for us Cowboy fans, but not for the NFL. The NFL saw Christian Parker being one heck of a defensive coordinator coming up. And from what I'm hearing on the inside from Patrick Nosey Walker, from Brian Broaddus on the uh, Crown Global Media, from Botch Lombardi, all these cowboy content creators have said nothing but great things about Christian Parker. And not just the content creators, a lot of people in the NFL have been raving about this young guy. But we're not here to talk about Christian Parker right now. We are here to talk about Javonte Williams. He finally gets paid after having a bad year in Denver 2 years ago. He coming off that torn ACL injury. People question why should Dallas sign him? Dallas needs an explosive running back. I was one of those that loved Javonte Williams coming out of college, North Carolina. Uh, he was such a physical back, ground and pound, and he had this like shiftiness, burstiness that kind of reminded me of, I don't know, who do I say? Oh man, there's a lot of good running backs out there, but he was a guy that reminded me. He didn't have the burst speed, but he was like a cannonball. Um, and that's something Dallas was missing after Ezekiel Elliott started getting worn down and his age started creeping up. So Javonte Williams signed a nice friendly deal, team friendly deal last year. I believe it was for like a 1.3 or maybe $3 million, somewhere around in there. And he had a terrific year, had an outstanding year. And let's kind of look at the numbers here, shall we? In 2024, Javonte Williams, in 17 games, he had 139 attempts for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. The year before that, 2023, is kind of when he had a little bit better year, or in terms of numbers, 217 carries, 774 yards, and that was coming off of the ACL injury. He comes to Dallas on a friendly deal, a prove it kind of deal. And man, was I impressed with not only his physicality, on his vision of hitting the holes, but he's actually more elusive than I thought he would have been. And that could be credit to him for working hard, and who knows, maybe coming 2 years off of the injury, you have a better time to prepare in the off season. And for those of you who know, a lot of these athletes that get ACL injuries usually take about 2 years for them to recover and get back to what they used to be. And and man, did he prove a lot of the people wrong. He played 16 games. He had 252, by far the most carries he's ever had in his career. Dallas used him a ton, and he was an every down back. And that's because Jaden Blue wasn't able to do his thing, wasn't able to get on the field for several reasons. A lot of teams on the inside say he wasn't mature enough. The coaches were saying he needs to grow up. He needs to start working harder. So, Jaden Blue had all the opportunity in the world to be a part of this 1-2 punch, which we thought we would, especially with the way Jaden Blue's speed. He's got like a 4.39 speed. So, we could have loved to see him. And we kind of seen a glimpse of that against the New York Giants towards game 17 or 18. It's game 17, week 18, against the New York Giants. He played really, really well. But that the Dallas Cowboys used Javonte Williams almost for every down. Every down he was on the field, and he started off the season with Miles Sanders. The Cowboys picked up Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, both on a try it first contract. Miles Sanders actually played, I believe, the first 2 games. Ended up getting hurt and hurt his knee, having surgery, getting it scoped out. Didn't end up making it through the whole season, which allowed Javonte Williams to take most of the reps here. And I was really impressed with the way he played. I thought, but let's not forget, Dallas last year had Rico Dowdle, and they weren't using him to where they started to use him towards the end of the season. This was 2 years ago. And once they finally decided he's our back, we kind of saw the explosiveness from Rico Dowdle. He wasn't a great back, but he was decent enough that we were able to see glimpses of his talent. And I think he did a great job of doing with what he had. And a lot of that is because the Cowboys offensive line was was kind of in shambles. We had Tyron Smith with injuries. He was getting up there in age, and Zach Martin, his last year of his deal, he was starting to get hurt and just didn't pan out to. He started getting up in age, right? And we started seeing the offensive line dwindle down, and that's where the Cowboys did a great job last year of drafting Booker in the first round, solidifying the interior offensive line. And now we still have questions on the tackles, but I think they're good enough that they're serviceable, that we can do a lot of things. Now, the key thing to last year's season, and I give Brian Schottenheimer a lot of credit too, because what they did this year with signing Christian Parker, they did the same thing on the offensive line, or on the offensive side last year. They ended up getting the offensive line coach for the Arizona Cardinals. And for those of you who remember 2 years ago when the Cowboys played the Arizona Cardinals, they ran up and down the field on the Cowboys. And you could see it. You're like, man, they don't have all star an all star running back. So, I mean, they had Connor James. Now, don't get me wrong, Connor James is no slouch, but he did such a great job. And just watching the way their O line played, just watching the counters, the traps, the outside runs, I'm like, man, their offensive scheme is really, really good. And I thought that Brian Schottenheimer just getting Clay Adams from the Arizona Cardinals was such a key to this Dallas Cowboys offense last year. And we saw it in the run game. And I told a lot of people in our community too. Shouts out to Kirby on the Cats and Rats podcast. I told them, hey, listen, look, we didn't have the run game last year. We didn't have the running backs. But he also liked Javonte Williams. A lot of us like Javonte Williams. We seen him in college. We saw his productivity, and we saw a glimpse of it in Denver. I believe Sean Payton even said, uh, talking to Brian Broaddus, the former scout of the Dallas Cowboys, Go check him out at Crown Global Media on YouTube with Watch Lombardi. They're a great duo. I listen to them. I get all my information from them. One of the best scouts the Cowboys have ever had, except for the last couple of years. Kind of wish he would have done it differently, but I love his takes and I agree with a lot of the stuff he says. So I really love his program. So go check him out at Crown Global Media. But they did a great job or should I say, let's go back where Javonte Williams, a lot of people questioned whether he was going to be the running back that the Cowboys needed. And I think Brian Broaddus talked to Sean Payton. Sean Payton used to be the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys back when Bill Parcells was the head coach. And Sean Payton told Brian Broaddus, no, you can't sleep on this guy. He is going to be really, really good. You got to remember, he's coming off of an ACL tear, and he hasn't been himself. And that's so true. And a lot of these guys that once they have their ACL tears, takes them a while to get back into the game. Sometimes they don't even get back into the game. They're not like themselves. Michael Gallup is one. There's a couple other players I can't think off the top of my head, but uh, Sean Payton said, "Hey, this guy's a leader. He wants it. He's a hard nosed runner. He's hard to tackle." And boy, did the Cowboys see that last year uh, with Javonte Williams. Let's kind of share this here. Um, Ian Rappaport was the first one to officially report it. Running back brings it back to Dallas, agreed to terms on a 3-year, $24 million deal. A lot of people are wondering if this was a overpay for a running back, underpaid, perfect price. Um, but honestly, from what I seen last year, and I'm kind of trying to see, let's kind of take a look at what other people are saying here because I'm kind of curious. This is a better value for running back deal right now. 8.8 average for a dude who just cracked the 1,200 yards. Great point. He also had 11 touchdowns. And could you imagine? Could you imagine if the Cowboys actually had a decent defense? A defense that created some turnovers with bringing the offense to the short field. Now, this offense was already a top 5 offense. Now, imagine with a decent defense. I mean, this team could have done a lot more. They could have probably been ranked the number 1 offense last year. They were pretty high up there with the St. Louis, with the Los Angeles Rams. I keep saying St. Louis. Oh my gosh. I keep going back to when Kurt Warner was the quarterback, but I mean, I feel like, you know, the Cowboys did a great job of giving Javonte Williams the deal that he deserves. It's not groundbreaking, and I think it's a deal where the Cowboys can get out of this too. I believe it's $16 million guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but I mean, that gives you a leeway. These 2 years, he gets his $16 million. It gives you an opportunity to go into the draft either this year or next year, possibly more next year. See what Jaden Blue is going to give you this year. Hopefully, he takes the next step. And then after the 2 years, if you feel like he's not the guy, or maybe Phil Maffa takes another step, you don't have to guarantee or commit to Javonte Williams on the 3rd year of the contract. So I think it works for both sides. We all know Javonte Williams has said he wanted to stay in Dallas. And a lot of the offensive players loved his leadership, his mentality. He was the first one in, the last one out with Dak Prescott. He was, and the one thing I love too about Javonte Williams is that, which was really underrated this year, is pass protection. A lot of people don't see the pass protection a key for the Dallas Cowboys, and especially for Dak Prescott being injured from years past. Dak hasn't been the healthiest quarterback, and especially with your offensive line not being so great the last couple of years. And now with Booker, Cooper BB, you have um, the Williams, it's the Smith, Tyler Smith. Um, you have so I guess the biggest key is our outside tackles. Are they going to be good enough to this season to help protect Dak? But I think having Javonte Williams again this year is amazing. Just because his pass protection was really good, and it did a lot for this team, and it helped Dak stay upright, and picking up the blitzes was a big key part to Dak having a really good year as well. So I think also, let's kind of share the screen here. I want to get to see what everybody. Let's kind of take a look at the Twitter world here. What everybody's saying. Finally, some good news. Locking Javonte Williams monster 2025 season must it was a must. I totally agree. 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, and now he's staying put. Great. I love that. I love that. Let's see here now. Let's see here. What else do other people? He absolutely cares about winning a championship. He could have gotten $15 million per year. I don't agree with that. I was thinking maybe $10 million, somewhere around that range. But he got his money. He deserved it. But a 3-year deal is totally what I was looking for. Anything over 8 million a year, I wasn't looking forward to that, just because the way the market is for running backs, right? Running backs are like a 3 to 5 year window where they're great, right? You have those rare running backs that last longer than those 5 years. Ezekiel Elliott maybe 7 plus years. We almost got him at 10, but he did okay. Um, it Ezekiel Elliott was run down to the ground. And that's the thing. Running backs get hit constantly, down after down after down. It's very rare to see those Derrick Henrys, Emmett Smith, Adrian Petersons of the world. You just don't find those running backs. And if you do, you're very lucky. And you do everything you can to keep them on your team. But I think this was a great friendly deal for Javonte Williams. Now the big question is, do the Cowboys sit on their hands and franchise tag George Pickens? Now, that's the biggest question because George Pickens had an incredible year also last year and was doubted by many Pittsburgh Steelers, not only their fans, but a lot of the coaches on the Steelers team. Uh, Whether you agree with him being late or not late to the team practices, team meetings, and so on and so forth. I think that's something Brian Schottenheimer has brought to to the George Pickens, that comfort of being able to work with him. He's not the perfect guy, but when you have a talent like he does, there's exceptions. You I understand you want to be like very strict and make sure your players are accountable for every one of their actions. And honestly, there's a few exceptions. Michael Irving was one of them. You could say Chad Ochocinco was one of them. Just a lot of these players that that are in the league in the NFL, you've got to make exceptions to these players because they're so good on your team. They're all world class on their own, right? So I think George Pickens needed a better situation, better environment, and he thrived on it last year. George Pickens was um, had a tremendous year. Let's try. I'm gonna try to pull up his stats here because he is due for his contract this year. Um, let's kind of pull it up. Really appreciate everybody who's watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll be doing more content like this throughout the year. There we go with George Pickens. All right, let's see what he's got. All right, so let's see. Wow, this was by far his best year. His welcome or his coming out party, and it's always like that, especially with when players are due their contracts, right? Players are always like, um, you know, that always seem to play really well when their contracts are up, and this is no different. But at the same time, I feel like George Pickens never was given that opportunity with the quarterback play in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh never really had that quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger, and I mean, who was throwing him the rock? I mean, Russell Wilson 2 years ago. I mean, he couldn't even keep his job in New York. So, I mean, given the opportunity in Dallas, he took it. He literally ran with it, leaped over it, had a tremendous year. And let's check him out here. Let's kind of get the stats. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, George Pickens with Dallas played 17 games. He started 15, I believe. He had 137 targets, 93 receptions, which is amazing, and had 1,409 and 29 yards with 9 touchdowns. And a lot of that in the beginning was because CeeDee Lamb got hurt in I believe week 3 against the Chicago Bears, week 3 or 4, and sprained his ankle. It was a high ankle sprain. CeeDee Lamb was out for a couple weeks. It gave George Pickens an opportunity to take the number one role, to be the number one receiver, and George Pickens ran with it. Played outstanding. There was a couple games this year against Arizona. Well, let me see. Trying to remember. Was it Arizona? It might have been Arizona. It wasn't really out there, but the whole offense was kind of off that day. A game I don't want to remember because that game to me was the game that just ended the season. Losing that game was like, okay, we're done. And then a week later, we ended up trading for Quinn Williams, and I was like, it might be too late. We ended up winning against the Raiders after, but didn't really help us in the end. But yeah, so George Pickens played in an outstanding year. The game against the Lions, when Richard Sherman came out and called them out, but Brian Broaddus from Crown Global Media, he kind of said it. He said it in the beginning. He's like, he's not your flashy route runner. That's not who he is. The way he rounds routes is not like CeeDee Lamb. They're totally different players. George Pickens is a vertical route runner, ins, slants, and 9 routes. Just go up the ball and get the ball. Go up and get it. That's his route tree. And I think and if he wants to be a number one receiver, he's got to open up his options and he's got to open up his his, his toolbox and start being a better receiver that way. Do I think he can do it? Yeah, absolutely. Now he still has a lot to learn, but he doesn't have the speed, I feel like, or the quickness. Speed, I don't want to say speed because he's pretty fast. The quickness that CD Lamb does running in routes, because CD Lamb's number one thing that CD Lamb is really good at is running routes. His route tree is incredible. Selling the end, going to the out, just setting up different routes throughout the digs, coming out the dig route. He's so good at that. Just using his shoulder to head fake the DB to go back in. I mean, he's just incredible. And his breaking tackle ability, both you could argue are really, really good at that. And we kind of saw it with George Pickens there towards the end, right? Where when he started to become the number one and we started moving him, or Schottenheimer started moving him in the slot, started moving him in motion, started moving him um, getting move around, having DBs go out there and following him around. I thought that was really key to his success because you get George Pickens in open space. Good luck. Good luck trying to tackle him. He's really good. We all saw that, just making acrobatic catches, leaping over players. So, shouts out to George Pickens on that. And I think he's going to get paid. Do I think he's going to get paid number one receiver? He has a chance to. He has a chance to, but in Dallas, I don't know. I don't know if you do that if you're Dallas. There, so I think he's probably they're gonna try to put him on the franchise tag. And will he play hard nose or hardball, not wanting to play on that deal? Remember, this will be the first time he's ever gonna see any kind of that kind of money. The franchise tag for receivers this year, I believe, is 28.5 million. So if I'm a receiver, I mean, if it was me, as his agent, I'm telling him, don't play low. Like do the same thing that Micah Parsons did. And what's crazy with all that is the agent to George Pickens is David Mulugeta, Micah Parsons' agent. The same agent that was trying to talk to Jerry Jones. And, supposedly they had a deal on the table. The deal wasn't there. Micah Parsons broke the deal. And, you know, a lot of stuff gone inside that, Jerry Jones didn't like, Micah Parsons didn't like. Ultimately, you got to talk to the agent. The agent's got to let them, and the players got to let the agent do the talking. So, I mean, I thought that both people were at fault. Jerry Jones's fault, Michael Parsons' fault. At the end of the day, it got so bad that they needed to trade Michael Parsons. Whether we all agree or not is another story. But I think it's all going to come down to George Pickens and David Mulugeta. Is he going to keep? Is he going to play on the franchise tag, or is he going to get a nice little friendly deal, anywhere between 31, $32 million? I think that'll be the best bet. You don't want to pay George Pickens over what CeeDee Lamb is getting. And I know I've seen CeeDee Lamb come out and say, I don't mind if he gets paid over me. He deserves it. He deserves it. If he gets paid more than I do on this team, I'm not going to mind. Man, get out of here. Get out of here. If I see somebody and I'm the number one receiver and somebody comes in, playing on my team and he's making more than me, you're calling him the number one? Please. Get out the way. I mean, you could literally say that you wouldn't do it, but that you wouldn't care. Ultimately, these players are going to care, and and I'm not saying George Pickens doesn't deserve it because he does. He absolutely showed he can be a number one receiver in this league. We saw it when CeeDee Lamb wasn't on the field. A lot of people are like, oh, well, can he do it without CeeDee Lamb next to him on the other side of him? Yeah, sure he can. CeeDee Lamb did not play for 3 games, missed 3 games, maybe even 4, because he ended up going out of one of the games. So, I mean, he's proven he can be the number one receiver. Give him a good quarterback, good situation, he can be a number one. And I think he will be one day. Um, if Dallas decides to sign him, if I was Dallas and Jerry Jones, I would sign him for a 3-year deal, which is perfect. He's only 25 years old. Sign him for a 3-year deal. That way, at the end of this contract, he can go get his bag. He can go get another contract where the salary cap's going up. You bring your numbers up, and who knows? Maybe you get a better deal, more money guaranteed, and get an opportunity to be the number one guy. So, if Dallas wants to win now, I think they need to sign George Pickens, a nice friendly deal, 3 years, maybe $32 million. Guarantee him at least 2 of those 3 years. And that way, you don't have to worry about the third year. If anything happens, you're not handcuffed with him on that 3rd-year deal. But we all know David Mulugeta is out to get the money, and he's going to want to get paid. In Dallas, Jerry Jones is always known to do 5-year deals. That's one of the things he wanted to do with Mike Parsons. He wanted to give him a 5-year deal. Ultimately, it fell through. Jerry Jones wanted a 4-year deal or a 5-year deal. Parsons wanted a 4-year deal and ended up getting paid in Green Bay. Got the 4 years, gets an opportunity to be a free agent in 4 years, and but no, kudos to him. He deserved the money. It sucks he moved from Dallas. We all saw how bad this defense was once he left, and it was unfortunate. And now Dallas has to go out there in free agency. They have to spend money. They have to go out in free agency, and they have to get defensive ends. They have to get a corner. They have to get a safety. They have to be buyers. They cannot get low balling contracts. They cannot get these bottom of the roster guys. Jerry, do us all a favor in Cowboy Nation. Go out and get the best defensive end available in free agency. Go out and get the best linebacker in free agency. Okay? Go out there and make your team better. We all saw what the New England Patriots did. 30 new players on that team. 30. 30 new players on that team. And shouts out to Mike Vrabel. Great head coach. That's one guy I wanted in Dallas. Great head coach. I don't know why Tennessee let him go. That blows me away. But what he did in New England was incredible. And yes, Drake May did an amazing job this year of being a better quarterback. But Mike Vrabel was a guy. Um, he did so amazing there. And, you know, 30 players there. 30 players. The New England Patriots. So it can be done. It can be done. So, anyways, I talked enough for today. Just wanted to hop on and give you guys an update. Javonte Williams signs a deal with the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a fabulous deal. It's an amazing deal. It gives him an opportunity to spend more money this offseason and do something in the draft. I can't wait till the NFL draft. I'll be coming on. If there's any more deals, if there's breaking news with George Pickens, Big Cecil got you covered. And like I always say, baby, one shift at a time, one period at a time, one game at a time. Let's go, Cowboys. Let's go, Panthers. And out. Shout out to Team USA. Let's get it done tomorrow. USA. USA.